All right, so here we are inside the venue with Settling Houses. Can you guys tell me your names?
I'm Josiah.
I'm Jack.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Ryan.
So, first of all, how did you guys meet? For how long have you been doing music?
That's a great question. We've known each other for a good amount of time, but we've known each other for a while, but we just started playing together in May, I think, maybe June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we played in different bands around town, and hung out before, but now we're fully a band.
Yeah.
Josiah was one of the first people I ever met in Omaha at an open mic. Yeah, we were both playing an open mic, and he asked if I want to get a beer afterwards. I was like, yeah. So that's where we met, and then just recently started playing music together. So
cool. So not all of you are from Omaha?
I'm from outside of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
I moved here 6 years ago.
And I've always been from Omaha. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a little,
Yeah.
you guys, Kansas, Topeka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been in Omaha for 10 years, so I'm kind of from here now.
Yeah, at this point, you're local. Cool. In your bio, I saw you talking a little bit about what settling houses could mean, about maybe not staying in the same place, whether that's figuratively, literally, this whole idea of always moving. For you guys, are there any other interpretations to the name? And did you think of any other names before settling house?
Do you guys want to start with what it means to you first, and then I can tell?
For me, it's that feeling of starting over at a new place and making a home somewhere. So that's kind of what it means for me, just personally.
Yeah.
I just envisioning unpacking boxes and settling in.
Cool.
I'm really happy to be interviewed because I don't know. And I haven't really had an interpretation. I have no idea. I'm excited to hear what it is.
I don't know. For some reason, I've always thought of an old house settling over time, and it's kind of creaky and sort of dilapidated, and over time it this is settling. So that's what I think of.
Apparently.
What makes you think of that? What about the name?
And what about it exactly?
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this brief.
Yeah.
The name came a little bit from. My wife and I have lived in 14 different places in 7 years.
Yeah.
So it was a play on exactly what you're talking about. Never quite feeling rooted and never feeling like anywhere was actually home.
Yeah.
And that we were constantly attempting to settle somewhere without it ever being successful.
Yeah.
And now we've lived the longest we've ever lived anywhere in our current spot. So maybe things are changing. Maybe
You're settling.
Now you're settled.
Be an actual settling.
Cool. But I totally get what you're saying, because I grew up traveling my whole life, pretty nomad. So I've lived in a bunch of different places. So I get what you're saying of what is truly home for me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. We talked a little bit before about what you do to distribute your music. I think you mentioned DistroKid as a platform. My co-host, he makes music, and he's used that platform before.
Nice.
If you want to share a little bit of how that works, if trying to release music as an independent artist.
I think when I first started, I was signed to a really small label outside of in Rockford, Illinois. And I think when I got signed, it felt like that was the dream, and I had made it, and that's what we wanted to do. But over time, I think the lack of control with that really got in the way, I guess, if that makes sense. So I think these tools like DistroKid and CD Baby and stuff are really cool to be able to take control of that piece on your own.
Yeah, it gives you more control to take of the reins.
Yeah, way more control. You feel a lot more ownership too, which is really cool. I don't think I'm any sort of expert at it, but it is nice to have that sense of control.
Cool. Yeah.
It's definitely easier than ever for an artist to take
Release
ownership
music,
over their own work, and we get it a lot where people are like, "How did you do that?" And it's way easier than you think. You just have to look into it, and then you can release your music. And a lot more people are doing it, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
And now anybody can be their own independent artist. It's pretty exciting. So
Oh yeah, go
I
ahead.
have nothing to contribute.
Oh, that's it. No, but it's cool you mentioned that, because, for example, in our case with our podcast and our project, it's so easy to do it. online, and I think of like, for example, my dad, he used to work on radio programs on like radio stations, and the whole process to get like a whole show out there on the radio, way harder than it is for me now to like record something with my mic at my house and just upload it on the internet, wherever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of what you were saying of like being signed to a label before and like not really working out for you, I was gonna ask, like, with this whole thing of like always moving, always changing, I think change and growth is a very good thing. Have you ever felt any time in which you were like growing or like moving in a different direction that was not good, that when you look back on, you're like, I should have not done this? It sounds like the record label was the
Sure.
thing, kind of like similar to that.
Yeah. I think I'm not going to claim to have any skill at doing this, but I try to live with the idea that failure isn't real and doesn't exist, and the only real way to interpret failure is that you've learned something new for the next time. So I think I did spend a lot of time sort of feeling bad for myself and wallowing in the fact that the label didn't work out, or can I swear? It's all,
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Like I put a lot of the like worried that I fucked things up.
Yeah.
I did it. I ruined everything, all that sort of stuff, because it ended really messily, and there were a lot of lessons learned. And I think now I've gotten to the point where I feel a lot more able to accept those movements that might be in the wrong direction as experiments or ways to gain knowledge or do better the next time, or maybe not even do better, just do it differently, learn what it didn't work for me. So I think I try to keep that. I can be pretty hard on myself still, but you guys have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I liked what Josiah was saying about failure. I think is, to quote the MythBusters, it's always an option. It's not a bad thing. I think it's very scary, but like in art, it's okay. It's okay to go up and suck. Everybody sucks at some point. Every good band you've ever seen was bad at some point, but they got better by just going and doing it. So.
Yeah.
In a less philosophical sense, I think the industry is changing so quickly that conventional wisdom, it just maybe doesn't work for you. So I think it could be scary or daunting to be in an industry where things are moving so fast. There's no formula to make it work, but I think that can be really liberating too.
Yeah, those are like very good answers. In line with that, what are you guys hoping to like achieve with your music? I read a little bit something about like some of the things that you kind of like talk about, some of it, like finding hope in like mental illness, those sort of things. Would you say there's like an overall message or goal that you're trying to achieve with your music?
I think I write a lot of my songs specifically for my younger self. I think a lot of my goal as a person is to be the person I wish I had around when I was a kid, and try to. As a kid, I felt really alone. As a kid, I struggled a lot with I grew up in a very conservative, sort of strict environment. So I think a lot of my songs are attempting to reach out to that younger kid and anyone like me, and let them know that they're not alone, and specifically let younger Josiah know that he's not alone, just a little bit in the future.
Yeah. You're all in agreement?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, Josiah has written almost every song. I mean, it comes from him. So I think that perspective that's about as close to the heart of it as you can get, I think.
Nice. What other inspirations of like music or artists would you say inspire you in what you're trying to make?
I've talked so much. You should start.
Anyone else? Inspirations?
I feel like Josiah has a lot of like folk influence, and also a lot of like punk rock influence, I would say, as well. So I don't know about specific bands, but those are some of the flavors that I think we kind of pull from. I've been listening to a lot of 4 Years Strong lately, and that's been fun, giving us a little bit more edge, I think. So yeah.
Nice. I'm a big I think Settling House is inspired by like the indie music scene and a lot of that. You'll hear those sounds. I definitely think there's some folk influence. It just sort of happened that way, I think. And I don't know, but I like it a lot. And then personally, I like for bass stuff. I like really funky, groovy stuff. So I try to like fill that in when I can on bass. But yeah.
And I was always like a Midwest emo kid, like punk music. But Caleb and I met each other in jazz band in college, and we're now in this jazz funk band, Wood Hoops, and that has like informed my playing a lot. So I think it's really interesting now to like come back to the music that I really liked growing up, and to like bring the jazz stuff in, at least in a technique sense.
I don't know. I think I also listen to a lot of indie stuff. I think the Mountain Goats were a huge inspiration for me. I like to joke and say that the Mountain Goats saved my life. I think there's... I try, rhythmically with my lyrics, I try to do a lot of stuff with unique rhythm that I kind of take inspiration from old rap music. Because I think it's really fun to sort of fuse the sort of odd time signatures or playing with the emphasis on different parts of the song. And it's a fun challenge that I like to give myself, I guess, when it comes to constructing melody.
When I first was listening to your music, I really liked it because it reminded me, I don't know if you guys have heard of the band Peach Pit. And just in the way that I guess your lyrics are sort of like someone telling a story, and that's something they do very often as well. And like they're like you were saying, they're groovy, like funky sounds. They reminded me a lot of that.
That is high praise.
I know.
Thank you so much. They're wonderful.
They're really cool, and they reminded me of you guys.
Well, thank you.
And like I've shared before, I didn't know about you guys until like I saw on the website that you were going to be opening. What was the process to getting to open for a band like Lunar Vacation? Like,
I don't know. Opening this show? Yeah. So my full-time job is I do the marketing for Slowdown. So I heard the show was coming to town, and I think we waited a while, but we realized after this band got revived, we're like, this could be a really good fit. And I love Lunar Vacation, so I was like, kind of jumped on it as quickly as I could, and thank goodness it worked out. We're excited to be here.
That's really cool.
I think too, if I can add to it, the old adage of like be a good person in music works because it's all about who you know, and making those connections is super important. Just treat people with respect. Don't be mean. Be a cool person to be around, and you will get shows. Like that's as simple as it.
Like give good into the world, it'll come back to you. Type of thing.
Exactly. Just be a good person. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. And you mentioned about having a job, like a full-time job here at Slowdown. What advice would you guys give to like artists trying to like balance like an artistic life and like a work life? Like any tips on like finding that nice balance?
I would say, of course, like the dream for like everybody, or maybe not everybody, but it feels like everybody wants to be a full-time musician. And the more of our friends or like acquaintances that we see kind of getting full-time gigging work with like jazz bands and wedding bands and stuff, and it's like we're so happy for them. But for a lot of them, it isn't exactly what they dreamed it would be. So I think my perspective has always been to do something that I'm really excited about every day. And if it ended today, like, would you be happy with it, or would you be really bummed because you didn't make millions of dollars? And I felt like it's the best way to go, to just do it, that you're happy you did it every day. And then if it pans out, that's awesome. And if not, like, you're still happy you did it.
I don't have much to add. I spent a lot of my life thinking that music was going to save me or get me out of shitty jobs. And I think recognizing that it doesn't have to be that way, or that I can find a balance in both has been really helpful and made music a lot more fun and a lot less of I feel a lot less like I'm clinging to it, right? And it has to do a specific thing, and now it can just be.
Well, I appreciate you sharing about that, because I feel like that's just something that I personally struggle with as well. Like trying to, what do I do? Because I knew I gotta live, like in gotta make money. But I feel like that's something that does take away from like what I want to do in life, with my art. But yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
What can we expect from you guys? Like, are you having any releases like coming? Anything at all?
Ooh. We have lots of ideas and lots of plans that we hope to have the time to do, but I think we're at this point just kind of seeing what happens. I don't know. I'd love to record some more live stuff and just do some more writing with these guys specifically.
Yeah, no date yet, but I think new music on the horizon, most likely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Cool.
Absolutely.
And where can we find you guys? Like on socials? Like, where are you?
So Instagram at Settling Houses, and then on Spotify as Settling Houses. We don't have a Facebook. Maybe that'll change at some point, but that's kind of intimidating to create one. Otherwise, there's a TikTok as well. So TikTok and Instagram
at
Settling Houses.
Those are your main ones, the ones that you made.
Yeah.
Cool.
There is, yeah.
TikTok, no way.
I think right now it's just us reposting the live videos but maybe eventually we'll do more with it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, taking the time to talk with us and sharing a little bit about yourself and what you're gonna do. We love hearing about independent art wherever we are. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Well, can't wait to
This is
see you
really
guys play. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
We are Settling Houses, and keep listening to
Your mom plays Mario Kart.
If you get tired of the sound, well, it stops when it